tin cans. So this is a very effective system. The cost per unit can be identified by other parties, and by the way, not only are there electric versions of this system, there are also manual hand crank canners. Another tool which will come in handy for long-term storage purposes is also replacement cans. Well, you don't need to buy any as long as you maintain the ones that you have. There is a device called a re-rimmer, which cuts off the upper part of this can and then re-lips it so that this can can be reloaded 10 different times. First by cutting it 5 times this way, and then by cutting 5 times this way. Taking a percentage of the can off each time, these cans can be, we'll use that word again, recycled. So here's an advantage for you. One of the things that you can do is if you're in food services, most people I can see the lights are coming on even as I mention this. Food service people who are involved with cafeterias, industrial facilities, etc., will be able to acquire these cans for little of nothing. In fact, usually free. They have a difficulty getting rid of them. So what we're recommending is if you can, get into that recycling habit and acquire these things as quickly as possible. At this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to cover is the basic house load or backpack. Now, there are many different variations on the theme as far as foreign manufactured, U.S. manufactured, what period and era. In this case, we're very quickly going to brief you on the AlisPac series of backpacks. This is a medium. They also come in large, and yes, they did make a small and still do. Difficult though they are to find, they are available. Now, the AlisPac system was designed so that it could be integrated many different ways with other types of web gear and equipment that were available in inventories across the world. In this case, the basic component is the primary sack itself, which is fully adjustable in many different ways, the adjustable shoulder harness, kidney pad, and of course, alloy frame. Now, the frames, there's a debate about whether or not they should be used. In most cases, of course, it's a good idea for structurally supporting the amount of weight that's here. And depending on how your individual web gear has been established, your combat load will determine how you want to configure the backpack. While the medium AlisPac does provide for individual connectors, which are located at the top of the pack, and also stations to the bottom so that the straps can be set up with a non-supported backpack, the large AlisPac absolutely requires an alloy frame, and it's recommended that with both, especially when carrying excessive loads such as spare batteries, auxiliary munitions, and large quantities of food because of their weight per volume, that the frame be used in those particular conditions. This particular pack has the LC2 type kidney pad, and of course also comes with the waist binders, which are designed to keep the backpack from flopping when it's being used. In this case, this particular pack has a quick release system, which is very desirable with almost all of the equipment you're using, and whenever possible, switch over to this system, which allows you to individually adjust by dimension, squeeze, and you're out of it. One of the other points that should be made is, of course, also a quick disconnect system for the shoulder straps. Why? Well, if you've ever been trying to run from somebody, or if you've ever hit water, you're going to understand very quickly why it is that adjustment and disconnect is important. There are a variety of different ways that the equipment can be broken down and disassembled, as you can see. And again, know your equipment, play with the technology. Don't just throw it together and put it away. Play with it, find out how it works, find out what works best for you. Remember that once you've adjusted these stations, for instance these points, you can also reconnect with electrical tape. And by the way, electrical tape does come in colors, ladies and gentlemen, browns, greens, tans, whatever color is indigenous for the particular season. And you can adjust these particular stations and then tape them in place so that they do not move. These particular points, of course, as you saw, were involving quick disconnects or adjusters, which allow you to easily slip the equipment on and off. As the load gets heavier, this becomes more difficult. Remember also that when dealing with backpacks or other combat loads that require weight, the buddy system is still important. In fact, the most common mistake made is, don't worry, I can handle it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is part of a team effort. So when you see somebody struggling with equipment, before you see a problem, before you have an injury, before somebody twists a back out of shape or has a problem with difficulty with a slipped disc or whatever, get in there and help each other. That's one of the keys to the overall effort of the militia and also any military operation. It makes no difference. Now, very quickly, at the base, we'll start from the bottom and work our way up. There are a series of connector points on the AlisPac. that mimic each other. In this case, a wraparound connector that can be used for a hanger. And if you'll notice, these two stations, which normally have a separate set of straps, which are not readily available but can be improvised even using belt material or conventional military belts, to secure a blanket roll, your sleeping bag assembly, whatever it is that you decide to attach, or whatever supplemental gear you may wish to use. As you move up through the equipment, you'll notice that you have variable adjuster straps. Do not cut these down. There are many different uses for the straps, and the reason for the excess is so that, again, if you wish to attach other material to the rear, the sleeping bag, blanket roll, or other equipment can be attached and stuck under this, and then of course secured accordingly. Now, almost all of the pack is designed to be adjustable for a very specific reason: noise. Remember that if you have something flopping around inside this particular pouch, the more noise you make, especially during hours of stealth, preferably at night, the more likely you're going to be heard before you are seen. So once cargo loads are reduced because of consumption or usage, there's an adjustment capability with each one of these chipmunk pouches on the outside, which then allows you to open the device by using the standard snap openers. In this case, very good idea. Disposables are put to the outside where they're going to be consumed and used first. Now again, do not make the mistake of cutting or snipping off any excess, but if you do have it and you'd like to get it out of the way, you can again tape these positions in these tapes or these excess rolls in place so they don't flop around or catch anything. As we move to the top of the Alice pack, in this case, we'll open up a little more for you. You will see a series of old M1910 type hanger stations which also have slip points for other web gear. The M1910 hanger is the type that you see on the old 1911 45 magazine holsters. And also, yes, there is an example here on this particular canteen station located on the side in which an M1910 hanger has been used. Now, these particular stations, just as the one that's wrapping around the mouth of the backpack, are designed to either take the standard modern